Thousands of years ago, a massive shadow moved across the ice-covered endless steppes, the woolly mammoth. The true ruler of the glaciers, undeniably one of the most powerful creatures of the Ice Age. Humans first became aware of this magnificent creature tens of thousands of years ago because our ancestors, who painted woolly mammoth drawings on cave walls, had seen it with their own eyes. Those paintings still exist today in caves across France and Spain, as if frozen in time. The scientific world officially identified this giant in 1799 through frozen remains discovered in the Siberian permafrost. The frozen grounds of Siberia had essentially become a natural museum. Skeletons, tusks, and even nearly perfectly preserved individuals with their fur and skin intact continued to astonish scientists. Every new discovery helped us understand this mysterious giant a little more. The woolly mammoth, growing more iconic with each find, was not just an animal, it became the greatest mystery of the ancient past. So what made it so special? How did it survive in such brutal conditions? The answer to these questions actually begins with its incredible physique. Standing up to 3.5 meters tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 6 tons, this giant was barely any smaller than today's African elephant. Think about it. 6 tons is roughly equal to the weight of 4 full-size cars. So what stood before you wasn't just a massive animal, it was essentially a walking boulder. But what truly made it great wasn't just its incredible size. This body was designed almost perfectly to stand up against the harshest conditions of the Ice Age. Temperatures dropping to minus 50 degrees, blizzards, freezing winds, none of it could stop it. Because nature had left no detail overlooked when building this giant. Its legs were as thick as tree trunks, and its back was muscular and sloped forward. This structure gave it both balance and incredible strength. Every single feature, every single detail was built for a purpose. And that is exactly why the woolly mammoth was able to rule this planet for millions of years. So where was the armor that protected this magnificent body? This is exactly where that legendary fur comes in. So, how do you think woolly mammoths managed to survive the freezing temperatures of the Ice Age? One of the main reasons was their incredibly thick fur. The long hairs covering their bodies could exceed 1 meter in length in some areas. But the truly remarkable feature was the dense, soft layer of wool hidden beneath those long hairs. This double-layered coat acted like a natural winter jacket. Living in lands dominated by snowstorms and icy winds, woolly mammoths were able to retain their body heat thanks to this specialized fur. Their coat not only kept them warm, but also protected their skin from the harsh cold. Scientists believe that the color of their fur may have ranged from light brown to dark brown. Moreover, their fur was important not only for insulation, but also for preventing snow and ice from coming into direct contact with their skin. This extraordinary adaptation made the woolly mammoth one of the most resilient animals of the Ice Age. Imagine trying to survive in an environment where temperatures drop to dozens of degrees below zero, with nothing but this thick coat protecting you. Do you think even the most cold-resistant animals alive today could survive the conditions that woolly mammoths faced? The long, curved tusks were the mammoth's most eye-catching feature, but the real workhorses were the teeth inside its mouth. The woolly mammoth had 4 powerful molars, and these teeth were far too strong to be compared to those of any other animal. Each molar was nearly as large as a human foot, not flat or smooth, but ridged and multi-layered in texture. Those ridges were there for a reason, to easily grind down even the toughest plants, tree bark, and thick roots. Just like a millstone, whatever you threw at it, it could handle. By studying the molars found in mammoth fossils, scientists have been able to determine what these animals ate, which regions they lived in, and even how much stress they were under. So these teeth weren't just for chewing, they were like a black box storing the mammoth's entire life story. But perhaps the most fascinating thing is this mammoths replaced their molars throughout their lives. When one tooth wore down, a new one would take its place. This cycle repeated a total of 6 times over the course of their lives. Each new tooth was larger and stronger than the one before, as if the body was rebuilding itself with every passing year. However, once the final set of teeth wore down, the mammoth could no longer feed itself, and that was usually the beginning of the end. So a mammoth's lifespan was essentially limited by the lifespan of its teeth. This remarkably well-thought-out system designed by nature was one of the most critical factors that kept this giant alive for millions of years. The molars represented the mammoth's inner strength, but there was another miracle visible from the outside its trunk. The woolly mammoth's trunk was not just a long piece of flesh. It was an incredibly sensitive and equally powerful organ housing more than 150,000 muscle fibers. Think about it: on one side, a 6-ton giant, and on the other, a trunk capable of delicately picking up a tiny blade of grass from the ground. These two opposite qualities existed simultaneously in the same body. It could use its trunk like a crane to snap heavy branches, like a broom to clear an enormous area in a single sweep, or like a finger to carefully select and pluck even the thinnest plant with precision. On top of all that, its trunk was also a breathing apparatus, an advanced scent sensor, and a powerful communication tool. It would greet other mammoths in the herd through trunk contact, and in moments of danger, it would raise its trunk high to send a warning call to the herd. So the trunk wasn't just for eating, it was like a universal tool that single-handedly provided everything needed to survive. The fact that nature managed to fit so many useful functions into a single organ so masterfully is what made the woolly mammoth truly remarkable and unforgettable. Keeping such a powerful body going obviously required serious energy, and the woolly mammoth was one of nature's luckiest creatures in this regard because it had an incredibly wide food chain. It needed to consume more than 200 kilograms of plants per day. Let's put that into perspective. 200 kilograms is roughly equal to the weight of 2 full-grown adults. The mammoth had to eat this amount every single day, without exception. But in a world covered in ice, where did it find that much food? This is where the mammoth's vast feeding pool came into play. Grass, shrubs, tree bark, roots, moss, aquatic plants, it could eat whatever came its way. In winter, it would dig up plants buried beneath the snow with its curved tusks and use its sensitive trunk to carefully select and pull off the most nutrient-rich parts. In the summer months, it would feast on the lush greenery of the tundra, like a banquet spread out before it. This flexibility gave it the chance to survive even during the most brutal periods of the Ice Age, because species dependent on a single food source would vanish along with that source once it disappeared. The mammoth, however, was one of nature's most adaptable creatures, capable of adjusting to any condition. And thanks to this flexibility, it managed to grow and spread from continent to continent over millions of years, leaving its mark across every corner of the planet. The carrier of all these features was the massive skeletal system beneath it all. The woolly mammoth's skeleton was built to hold up a 6-ton body for decades, and that was no small miracle. Its front legs were like powerful towers. Made of thick, dense, and incredibly sturdy bones, these legs carried nearly the entire weight of the body. The load placed on a mammoth's front legs while walking could be compared to the front axle of a truck. But these legs weren't just for bearing weight in moments of attack and defense. They transformed into shields. The hind legs, on the other hand, served a different purpose. More elastic and powerful, the hind legs gave the mammoth acceleration and kept it balanced across difficult terrain. Deep snow, swampy ground, rocky surfaces, none of it could stop the mammoth, thanks to the powerful structure of its hind legs. This mechanism, formed by all 4 legs working together, distributed the body's weight evenly, giving the mammoth that characteristic heavy yet determined stride. This skeletal structure was so solid that even millions of years later, it could be pulled from beneath the ice, nearly intact, giving scientists the opportunity to unlock the secrets of this giant. Maintaining the continuity of this incredible structure obviously required reproduction. But woolly mammoths were quite selective and slow-moving creatures when it came to this. Female mammoths reached reproductive maturity at around 14 years of age, which was an extremely late age compared to many other animal populations. The gestation period lasted a full 22 months, meaning nearly 2 years. Just like today's elephants, this was one of the longest gestation periods found in nature. The newborn calf alone weighed between 90 and 120 kilograms, but when this giant came into the world, it was still very vulnerable. This is where the herd stepped in. All the female members would take the calf under their protection, guide it, and teach it how to survive. The young mammoth would stay by its mother's side for years, learning from the herd's most experienced members what to eat, where to find water, and how to avoid danger. This long development process made mammoths strong, but it was also one of their greatest weaknesses. Because one calf every 2 years meant the population grew at an incredibly slow rate. Could such a powerful and massive creature even have enemies? The answer is yes, but these enemies were no ordinary foes. In the merciless steppes of the Ice Age, there were few terrifying predators capable of going up against the woolly mammoth. The most well-known of these was the cave lion. Far larger and more powerful than today's lions, this giant cat specifically targeted young, elderly, or sick mammoths. Attacking a mammoth alone would have been far too dangerous, so they moved in groups, waiting for the mammoth's most vulnerable moment. Another dangerous enemy was the giant, short-faced bear. Far larger and faster than any bear alive today, this creature was an opportunistic hunter, preferring individuals that had been separated from the herd or were already injured. But perhaps the most organized and most dangerous enemy was something else, entirely humans. As our ancestors grew increasingly skilled at hunting toward the end of the Ice Age, they had turned mammoth hunting into something of an art. They set traps, drove herds off cliffs, and used their spears to target the mammoth's most unprotected points. And this enemy produced far more devastating results than all the others. And here we arrive at perhaps the saddest chapter of this story, the extinction of the woolly mammoth. This giant, which had stood up to the harshest conditions of the Ice Age for millions of years, began disappearing one by one around 10,000 years ago. So what really happened? The scientific world has been debating these questions for decades, and 2 main theories stand out. The first is climate change. As the Ice Age came to an end, the world began to warm. The vast grasslands and tundra regions where mammoths had fed for thousands of years began to shrink, giving way to forests and swamps. The mammoth's wide food chain was no longer enough; its habitat was disappearing. The second theory is humans. Human communities rapidly spreading across the globe toward the end of the Ice Age hunted mammoths in a systematic way. Every hunt meant one mammoth, and every mammoth could only give birth to a single calf every 22 months. Most likely, both factors played a role together. A weakening habitat and increasing hunting pressure pushed the population to a point of no return. It is estimated that the last woolly mammoths survived until 1700 BC on a remote island in Siberia, Wrangel Island. These last individuals, who had lived in isolation for thousands of years, had lost their genetic diversity and grown increasingly weak. But in the end, they too faced extinction. The greatest legend of the Ice Age quietly faded into history, but the mark it left would continue to live on beneath the ice for millions of years to come. The woolly mammoth was an incredible being, one that defied the cold with its thick fur, the snow with its curved tusks, the toughest foods with its powerful molars, the finest details with its sensitive trunk, the most treacherous terrain of the Ice Age with its massive skeleton and powerful legs, and guided its herd for generations across a lifespan of 60 to 70 years. With all these features, it was one of nature's most perfect designs. Every organ served a purpose. Every feature made it stronger, more resilient, more ready to live. It was as if nature had given its absolute best when creating this creature. But unfortunately, this perfection could not protect it forever. The climate changed, the habitat shrank, humans spread, and this giant quietly faded into history. The fact that a species that had stood for millions of years vanished within just a few thousand is something that still makes you stop and think today. If this story captivated you and you want content like this to keep coming, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time a new bone is pulled from beneath the ice, every time a new fossil is found, the mammoth comes back to life for us once again. It reminds us of this. This planet does not belong to us alone. We are just a part of it. These massive creatures that once roamed the past are delivering the quietest yet most powerful lesson to today's world. What is lost is never coming back. Write in the comments. What do you think really drove this magnificent creature to extinction, the climate or humans? I'm curious.